Bet. Where do I sign?
In this video, I'm looking at what makes the rise of 50 Cent and the rise of Officer Tatum so similar. And in the end, I'm going to tell you the one thing that makes them different. Even though they're from different industries and even though they have different backgrounds, both of them discovered something very early. Controversy gets attention. And when you figure out how to turn that attention into a brand, the drama can get you paid big time. And that's what we're going to focus on, because 50 Cent didn't become 50 Cent because of a rap beef alone. And Officer Tatum didn't become Officer Tatum simply because he's a black conservative. There was something more specifically happening with both of these men. So let's get into their beginnings. Before 50 Cent became a businessman, the television producer, the celebrity troll, or a guy making documentaries about Diddy, he was Curtis Jackson, trying to make a name for himself in hip hop. And he wasn't exactly coming into the game quietly. 50 took his self-admitted street life and put it on wax. One of the early examples of this was a song he did called Ghetto Quran. It tells true stories about street guys in his old neighborhood of South Jamaica, Queens. And then he made a song called How to Rob. This time he took shots at R&B and rap celebrities, describing how he would mug and rob them. And this was his format, taking beef to another level. Now, don't get me wrong, beef is part of hip hop. Rappers have been going at each other forever. But what made 50 different was how he turned the conflict into an entire brand, naming names, exposing people, attacking rivals, and making the controversy itself part of the entertainment. Then the streets started watching 50. He got shot 9 times. He survived. Instead of disappearing, his reputation got even bigger. And no matter what happened in the streets, he quickly learned something about the music business.
I think music is a platform that was necessary for me to get enough attention to matter.
One of the turning points in his career came when he met Eminem and Dr. Dre. See, Eminem hears 50 and Eminem makes sure Dr. Dre hears 50. And now the rapper from Queens' career is changed forever. He is elevated to another level. Now, Brandon Tatum had a similar start. He was nowhere near the level of the fame of 50 Cent, but just like Curtis Jackson, he became a brand, Officer Tatum. And before YouTube, before millions of subscribers, before the podcast, Tatum was a football player. He played at the University of Arizona and eventually became a police officer in Tucson. And then something happened that changed the trajectory of his life. Tatum was at the Donald Trump 2016 campaign in Tucson. Then after that, he posted a video saying he felt unsafe because of the protesters.
Went in there, very, very shocking. I wasn't expecting what I saw. I had no idea that I was going to leave that event with the thought process and experience that I obtained. I just had no idea. It started from the beginning. Went to the walking in the line, waiting to get in, because people were verbally violent at the door, yelling, saying F Donald Trump. I mean, being outrageous. Very, very uncomfortable feeling. I mean, people were directly yelling at me as if I'm a criminal, and all I'm trying to do is just hear what the man have to say.
This was his How to Rob moment, getting the attention he wanted. And that video went viral. And now people who had never heard of Officer Tatum was hearing his name. Mainly because a lot of his attack was against Black Lives Matter. And that was the beginning. But he still wasn't famous yet. He had simply discovered something. The camera and drama could take him somewhere the police badge couldn't. Now, when 50 Cent album Get Rich or Die Trying came out, it went through the roof with help from Eminem and Dr. Dre. His rap career just took off. He started his own label called G Unit and his own rap group with the same name. The records sold well, but you would think that as his records was leaving the shelves and he was becoming more successful in the music industry, his attacks on others would slow down. They didn't. The beefing did not stop.
Yo, 50, what's the definition of a wankster, man? I mean, what is that?
Ja Rule, Irv Gotti. I'll tell you personally, the Murder Inc., the people that you see like Irv, Ja, the people that are involved in the business aspect are bitches. Like, these niggas don't got no hood in them.
And Ja Rule was one of his early beefs, and still to this day, they don't like each other.
He's nobody. He's this person, right? This person we're talking about, he's no one.
But he started beefing with everyone. Fat Joe, Jadakiss, Wu-Tang, Jay-Z, Rick Ross. You name them, he was beefing with them. And he was beefing with them over petty things like Fat Joe and Jadakiss, who did a song with Ja Rule. He even had a small beef with Alicia Keys. Yes, Alicia Keys, an R&B singer, just because she had made a statement about rap. Get the hell out of here. Yes, that's how petty he is. And that's what he has in common with Officer Tatum. They jump into things not because they want to make stuff better, but because they're petty. Officer Tatum, in 2017, he posted another video criticizing Colin Kaepernick and the NFL players for kneeling during the national anthem.
I'm on Twitter, just browsing around, and I see that these fools are still taking a knee during the national anthem, as if they think we're playing. They think it's a game. This is not a game. People are going to officially stop watching NFL. I will never, and I'm not talking about Ray Lewis never, I will never watch an NFL game again. I will not.
And this was like his ghetto Quran, because that video went viral again. And now Tatum isn't just a police officer. He is becoming a black conservative personality. And this is where I want to make another distinction. Officer Tatum, he wasn't the first black conservative to criticize black people, but just like 50 Cent used his beef to make a name for himself, Tatum used his criticism of the black community and turned it into an identity that made him money. And he leaves the police department. He joins the conservative media world. He gets involved with Turning Point USA. And this is where someone like Charlie Kirk becomes important to his story, because Kirk and Turning Point didn't create Officer Tatum. He was already had a few viral moments, but this took him to another level. Just like Eminem helped 50 Cent go to another level, Charlie Kirk and Turning Point helped Officer Tatum reach a much larger audience. And both of these black men have used their large platforms to produce stereotypes of black people. 50 Cent in the entertainment industry and in the business world.
There's more ruthless people in the business world than in the street.
And Officer Tatum in the political world. And where you can really see a comparison in the two is when how they dealt with high-profile controversial issues. Sean Diddy Combs, a major figure in the hip-hop community, was convicted on 2 prostitution-related federal charges and is currently serving a 50-month prison sentence. Now, 50 Cent produced a documentary on Diddy and Diddy's behavior. Did 50 need the money? Nope. Does he already have a negative history with Diddy? Yep. But for him to produce a documentary of another black man who was already down and out, and no matter how you feel about Diddy, 50 Cent did not do this documentary to help victims. He did it to make it part of his entertainment empire. Why? Because he's petty. Nolan Wells was a young black man who was hanging out with white friends on a boat, and he ended up unalived. Now, because of the issues surrounding the way the authorities handled the case, people with sense were not saying he was unalived because he was black. They were saying he was being treated differently after his death because he was black. That's a big difference. The attack was on the system that has a history of treating black people differently. Think about it. His family was dealing with the unimaginable situation. And here comes Officer Tatum. Enter himself into the situation, making comments about Nolan Wells' family and the attorneys, trying to make it seem like this was a racial issue and that he was here to save the day. Does he have a history of wanting to make black people look bad? Yep. But why did he get involved? Because he's petty. See, what 50 and Tatum figured out is that they can get paid for pettiness. And as long as it's directed against black people, you can really get paid. But here's the one difference between the two. 50 Cent has given back to black communities. And even though some of his entertainment can be degrading towards black people, me personally, I haven't seen him make many negative comments about black people or black people as a whole. He might have, I haven't heard a lot of them. Whereas Officer Tatum, on the other hand, is doing this every day on his platforms.
I would never brainwash my kids into thinking that they in some spaces because they don't look like us. Imagine if a white person said this, got on TV and said, you know, I have to teach our children, all of our children, that they need to be mindful in spaces, especially in spaces where people don't look like us, in an all-black neighborhood.
Okay, he is criticizing black people every day on his platform. He seems more like a hired gun who comes in and says things about black people to make the other side feel good about themselves. 50 does what he does for show. Officer Tatum does what he does to hurt people. And that's a very different use of power.
Broke it down to its very last calm down.